Hey guys, what's up? It's Authentic here. I've got a new video for you guys. I've just pulled my second Sicia. I've got two Sicias now. I built a new spider team for myself. Now my previous fastest run on spider was 16 seconds and I've been working on this for a day now, and after getting the second Sicia I've managed to get the speed down to 12 seconds. So I wanted to share it with you guys, want to show you how it's built and how it works. So the main thing is my new Sicia. The way the Sicia's kit works is that the burn, the A3 lands the burn, and if it lands on every single spiderling and the boss, she gets an extra turn and she detonates the burns. Now if you get 3%ed on this, the extra turn won't proc and she won't go ahead and do a second turn and into the detonation. If that happens, then it means it's going to be a 16-second run, but as long as she lands burns on everybody, it's going to be a 12-second run. It's a 100% run either way. It always wins. It's never a fail in the run. So let me go ahead and show you guys how it looks. So let's set it up. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so we have Cold Heart to open Heart Seeker so she can decrease the turn meter of the boss and get all the spiderlings down. Then we have the Sicia coming in. So we got resisted on one of the spiderling. Obviously it's going to happen on my first try when I do it as a video, but as you can see it'll be 16 seconds if we get a resist. But let's run it again and see if our Sicia can land all of the burns. It is a 3% chance on each spiderling. After doing some quick maths, I brought it down to the fact that if you've got 11 targets that you're trying to freeze, the chances of you not landing, or if you have 11 targets that you're trying to burn, the chance of you not landing a burn every time is around about 66% chance of success rate, and is a 33% chance of a fail rate. So this is the one where she landed everything, and here you can see it's going to be a 12-second/13-second run. The run is showing 13 seconds on stream or on recording because the frames slightly slow down when I record the video. But this is the team that runs it super fast. So here we have another one with 100% rate. It's as it's running as a recording, it won't show the full 12 seconds, but it is a 12-second team. I'll try to get a clip at the end where the recording does run smoothly and we do manage to get it in 12 seconds. So I'll go back and show you all of the builds, all of my Cold Hearts. As you can see, the Cold Heart needs to be doing max damage, so if you need to put her in Savage, or if you can get it around about 260 crit damage, that is enough. We want our Shiramani to go last, so when she freezes, the fight finishes. So Cold Heart goes first, Sicia, and then Sicia, Cold Heart, and then Shiramani. Sicia, Cold Heart, and then Shiramani freezes and the fight's over. Once Shiramani lands the freeze, the fight should be over. You'll see the timer stop, and that means there's enough burns out there so that the fight would just finish because the boss will take enough damage. This is a 16-second run because our first Sicia got resisted. Now bear in mind, if you are trying to run the second Sicia strategy, one of your Sicias needs to be booked. The best strategy is to keep the damage output low as possible. So I'm talking low crit rate, low attack, low crit damage. Make sure you're not doing too much crit damage because you don't want to be one-shot in the spiderlings. As you can see at the end of the fight, the spiderlings are still alive, but they are really close and below 20% HP. So you want no crit rate, no crit damage on your Sicias and your Shiramani. And Cold Heart, you don't want her to do her AoE, you just want her to do her A3 once and that's it. She will never take a second turn. Alright guys, so let me show you the booking and building process of this team, how you need to build your Sicias, how you need to build your Shiramani to do this. So one of your Sicia, so the Ascensions aren't important, one of your Sicia needs to be booked for this, as I showed earlier in the video. You need these 4 books to be in here, so the chance of the burn is 100%. You don't really want to run this with a 75% chance to burn because it won't be successful. You won't have enough burns out there, you won't have enough damage. So these 4 books are a must. You have to book this on your second Sicia. The other ones you can see, I was really lucky and I dodged everything. I just landed 4 books. We were doing this on the stream, it was the luckiest thing ever. 4 books straight into the A3. No books here, no books here, so that's not needed. As long as she's booked, her accuracy needs to be 300 15 plus. Now the reason why I say this is because it's a 3% chance of being resisted. Now the true value of accuracy versus resistance is, if you have round about the same accuracy and resistance, you have a 92% chance. So these spiderlings have 200 resistance, so if I had 200 accuracy, I would have around about 92% chance to land the burns. However, because I want this to be as fast and as consistent as possible, I need to be around about 315 plus accuracy if I want that true 97% chance to land the burns. Now, most of you guys wouldn't care about this, but if any of you guys are really into the stats and into seeing how the resistance and the accuracy check works, this is just for you guys, some extra information. So you want to be 315 plus. You can get away with 300 or 250, it will work. But if you want the most runs to be at 12 seconds, you will need to be 315 plus. Again, when talking about the stats, you don't want any crit rate. I've purposely looked for pieces that don't want any crit rate, no crit damage. This is just my Great Hall being maxed. The speed requirement needs to be low. So you have to keep them low speed so they don't lap the spiderlings or take 2 turns at any stage. The fastest champion, if I show you, it's this Cold Heart. So in order of operation, my first Cold Heart goes, she's at 270 crit damage. As long as you're 260 crit damage, you should be able to do the max damage on the boss. Speed 168, no savage on this Cold Heart, so you can see. And this is my Helm Smasher Cold Heart, so she could be slightly inconsistent. It should be Flawless Execution. If you do go Flawless Execution, it's easier to make the crit damage too. So I would recommend go Flawless Execution. Around about 260 crit damage is enough. And you want her around about 165 speed. Then Sicia goes next, the booked Sicia, the one that's going to do her A3 first. She would go next and she would land her burns and she will be 159 speed. And then you want your second Sicia to go. The second Sicia would detonate the burns, so that's all she's there for. So she needs to be slower than your first Sicia, so 153 speed. And then you want your second Cold Heart to go to do enemy max HP again. So this is the one. So she's 151 speed. So the spiderling speed is 150. As long as you're 150 or above, you'd always go before the spiderlings. So 151 speed. This one's 285 crit damage. Like I said, 260 crit damage is all you need. My stats and my gear is slightly higher. Another fact about the Cold Heart is that you don't need accuracy on her. She doesn't need to return the turn meter off the boss, because the boss will never get a turn as it is. This team kills the boss before he fills up his turn meter. The boss's speed is around about 90 speed, so as long as the spiderlings all take a turn and everybody detonates poisons, it shouldn't be a problem. The boss should never get a turn. Shiramani is the slowest. She's at 150 speed exactly. Now, as long as your speeds are below 170, I'd say that's enough. Now I've made it perfect 150 speed because Shiramani fills her turn meter when she does AoE freeze. Every champion she hits, she gets 10% turn meter, so it can be really annoying if she takes a second turn. It just adds a second or half a second to the fight. So if you're running Shiramani like I am, you can take out the speed and you can run it at 150. There are other champions in this slot, in the freezing slot you can run. You can run Crypt King Growl, you can use a Chak who's a 95% freeze, but if you don't have a 100% freeze, then that's what you can do. And if he doesn't land freezes on everybody, then it can be a slightly longer run. But you can have substitutes for Shiramani. Shiramani, any AoE freeze, high success rate. Luria's 80%, 85%, so I'd probably go with somebody higher percentage to freeze. Your Shiramani needs to be booked, so whoever you're going to use as your freeze champion, you need to make sure it's 100% chance to freeze, so you don't have spiderlings attacking you when they take turns. And that's basically it. Those are all the champions. The last thing I can show you guys is, let me show you the stats actually. You do want the Sicia, the second Sicia, to have accuracy on. Normally when you're running a single Sicia run, you don't have accuracy on either of your Sicias, but both of my Sicias are in accuracy, because if my first Sicia, let's say she gets super unlucky and she gets resisted by 3 spiderlings and doesn't land burns on 3 spiderlings, then we might be lacking the burn damage. So the second Sicia, when she takes a second turn, she would then add the burns back to the spiderlings and we'll have enough damage to get through it. The 2 Cold Hearts, speed and accuracy is not needed, just crit damage. And the Shiramani is just basically accuracy with 150 speed. The way the presets are set up, I have my first Cold Heart, the one that goes first. Both of the Cold Hearts are basically on the same setting, but this Cold Heart would go first. She would do her Heart Seeker first, and then we'll have our faster Sicia going. So this Sicia, so the 2 Sicias setup is slightly different. We have one prioritizing the firestorm right into the flame eruption, so she's gonna land the burns and then detonate the burns, and the second Sicia is the other way around. She's gonna detonate the burns and she's gonna land the burns. The reason why this is important is for the 16-second run team. If ever you get resisted, you get really unlucky and get resisted, your second Sicia will just come through and she will burn them down, and Shiramani to do the freeze, and then to do the healing if something goes wrong, or if any spiderlings do try to attack you, if she gets resisted, and that will be there as a backup. So one last run before we call it on this video. I'm really happy with this video. When I pulled my second Sicia, I tried it on stream. It was a working process. It took me a day to figure it out, but in the end I'm really happy that we managed to put this together. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this team. Let me know if you guys can build this team. I know 2 Sicia is not something that everybody has. I've been super lucky to get them. Even my account's not the most stacked account. But if you guys have a second Sicia, let me know if you're going to build this team, if you're going to try it out. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments. Like and subscribe as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.